Welcome back to Mic Check, where legends of the game come to life. Today, we're joined by a true icon of the gridiron, a three-time Super Bowl champion. That's just insane. Kid you not. Six-time All-Pro. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the most respected voices in football and analysis. Welcome to the show, Randy Cross. How you doing? How you doing, Randy?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
See, this is how I like to typically start my pod, right? I like to start off with some rapid fire questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote a few of them down actually. And I would like to start with, give me 1 second. I would like to start off with this one here because this one here is quite interesting. What is the toughest position in football history?
Toughest position? It's not even close. It's quarterback.
Really? Why do you say it's not even close?
Because it's not. I mean, the amount of pressure, both physically and mentally, to perform for a quarterback, amount of intelligence it takes, that you have, the things you have to assimilate in the time period you have to assimilate it.
Right.
It's unlike anything else.
But what about your position, Randy? I mean, that one is pretty tough because you have to deal with
it's mental and physical. Yeah.
400 pounders, 300, 350, right? Pretty scary.
Yeah.
Right? But you were big yourself. You were strong.
I'm old enough. They were only in the low 300s. But yeah, and that was something I dealt with my entire career playing football. Is not being the biggest dude out
Were you
there.
ever scared?
Nah.
No.
You're scared by a dog.
It's a good one.
I didn't even start lifting until my third year in the NFL, and that
Holy cow!
probably prolonged my career more than anything else because I didn't touch a weight in high school, didn't touch a weight in college. I got to play. The guy that brought me to Jesus as far as getting in shape and lifting was a Hall of Fame nose tackle by the name of Curly Culp, who had originally played for Kansas City and then played for the Houston Oilers by the time I faced him. And I had the fortune of, on the first or second play of the game, getting a great block on him, which I later saw on the film in the end zone. He trips, but I put him on his back. And I made the mistake of reaching down to help him up.
Oh, yeah.
He looked at me.
Oh, yeah. I could have told you that, Randy.
Next play, I get up on the ball, and I'm sitting there, and I can see this arm swinging, and I went, "Ooh, that's not good." And he put that back of that right under there on my chin. And one of the reasons I wear a goatee, or at least something here, I've got a scar, it runs right here. He just opened my chin big time.
What, like split open?
Oh, yeah. Blood everywhere.
Discussion? Wow.
Doctors, on the sideline, stitched it up real light and put some bandaging on it, and so I could put my chin strap on and kept going. But, yeah, after that, I got the general idea that I might want to start lifting weights a little bit. So
so you were using like your natural strength, right? Like you're not,
country strong these days, but I wasn't from the country.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, to knock somebody down like that.
Yeah.
But then I could have told you, hey, Randy, you just made a huge mistake by trying to, help him out.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sure he was upset.
In senior year, I was like nationally ranked in high school throwing the shot put. In fact, I won the state of California in my senior year, and I beat two guys. One of them was a guy named Terry Albritton, who later set the world record about 3 or 4 years later with a 16-pound. And the other one was a guy named Jim the Anvil Neidhart,
the wrestler.
Went into wrestling.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my senior year. But yeah, those guys were yoked. And I always had really strong legs. That's one of the reasons. And I'm not trying to get away from your, the hardest position thing, but always had strong legs. So that was a big advantage I had. I mean, really strong legs. So, that was my base.
Did he I'm not too sure. I mean, I am a huge WWE fan, but did he pass away? Was
Yeah. Yeah. He
he did?
passed,
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry.
passed
Okay.
years ago.
Yeah, he did. He did. All right. Wow.
Yeah. But it's back to your original question. Being a center or a guard or anything in the offensive line, especially inside with guards and centers, you have to look at and analyze and a lot of different things besides the guy you're blocking. And because you're in a stance, usually a 3-point stance when I played, you had to analyze. I always referred to it as calves and ankles because you couldn't see the whole bodies, but you could see out here. I could see a cornerback and I could see his feet, and you could see a safety, or I could see where a safety should be, and all of a sudden
Right.
the safety's over here, and you're going, well, that's not right. So if protection was, so there's different things you had to look at. It was not like a quarterback because quarterbacks, trust me, what
Yeah.
goes these days being a quarterback, um, it's not for dummies. There's a
Yeah.
lot,
No, absolutely. I agree. I
a lot of
agree.
guys have tried to play that position that are not up to the task between the ears, but they've got a rocket for an arm and they look the part. But eventually, defenses will expose you.
Well, that was my exactly. That was my next thing. I mean, you can have an arm and throw 60, 70 yards, right? But you'll get exposed if you're not that type of player, right? If you don't know how to play the pocket or anything along those lines, you'll get exposed, and that's what shortens, I think, someone's career, right?
Yeah,
Getting
when
exposed.
you watch a guy playing quarterback, maybe for the first time, and like I do college now, so you get to see a whole different breed coming up, from the 7-on-7
Right, right,
experience.
right.
Guys that have these ungodly arms and just they can run and they can do all these crazy things. But I'll give you a great example of a guy I think is going to be a big star in the
Okay.
Cam Ward.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
Cam Ward. I saw his tape when I did a Washington State game earlier in the season a couple of years ago, and all I could watch was tape from Incarnate Word. And
Wow.
watch Incarnate, where you could see him scramble, you could see him buy time, you could see him do everything he needed to do. But what really stuck out to me, especially as a young quarterback, and he's gotten better and better at it, is he can hit the intermediary pass. And there's guys right now that have been all pro in this league that can't hit a 15, 20 yards down the field, crossing pattern over linebackers in front of safeties, that type of stuff. Not on a regular basis. And
Right.
that's the difference maker to me. And it's not about people. I'll give you another great example. Brock Purdy. He doesn't have that cannon. Dude's not 6'5", 240. But if you watch him play, he has ball placement and timing and accuracy that,
Especially that accuracy. Yeah.
that's on another level. And
Mm-hmm.
you just don't see that. And people dismiss it out of hand, like, yeah, but he can't throw the ball too hard. It doesn't go down. It's like, okay, I'll take him. You can have X. And I mean, for me, that kid's as good as everybody in the league outside of a handful. I mean, another 3 or maybe 4 guys.
Well, okay. So since we're talking about quarterbacks, and we'll get back to this rapid fire, who is the quarterback right now for you, at least in your opinion?
Um, I think it's hard to go against Patrick because of his ability to ad lib, and that's what makes him special. He's got a pretty good arm. He moves around really well, but his ability and imagination and his receiver's ability to read what he's doing and where he's going, whether it's Travis or any of those guys, sort of puts him on another level, but maybe on the same level as Josh.
Okay.
Allen can do the same things. There's a couple of the youngsters that are,
How about Jackson?
yeah, that are looking like they're going to be, yeah, yeah. I mean, the only knock I have on him is eventually, man, you got to win the big game.
Yeah.
Eventually, when you get in that big spot, even if it's against Mahomes or it's against Allen or it's against whoever, you've got to win that big game.
Well,
Uh,
that's what we
I
play
mean,
for.
look what happened with the Commanders. The difference a guy like that can make a quarterback.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Rookie. Yeah.
anything we're talking about,
Hmm.
he's got it. And Mahomes, there's no reason for he and Josh Allen to hear footsteps, but they're going to be some pounding feet in front and back of him really quick with
Oh
him.
no, he's coming.
If he
Oh
keeps
yeah.
better at that rate, forget about it.
No, he's coming. Yeah. 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 Absolutely. One current NFL player you love to have on your old 49ers team.
Oh, jeez. Um, just because, and one of the reasons that I admire the way he plays, and um,
Did someone ever ask you this question?
not really,
Okay. Oh,
not
I'm unique then. Nice.
not with the mix of today to tomorrow. Uh, I'll go with another Niner. Uh,
Okay.
I would have loved to seen Bosa
Wow.
on the other
Okay.
side, from Charles Haley. Deal with that.
Wow.
That would have been a little. And
Okay.
there's a lot of guys you can say as far as skill positions and big O linemen and D linemen and especially wide receivers is such a talented position these days. But I think I'd like to see Boza and Haley going after quarterbacks at the same time.
Charles Haley, man. Ooh,
Yeah, yeah. All he did was
a
Dallas win
monster.
Bulls too. Besides us,
That's it, a monster. More fun. Is it more fun to pancake a guy or call a perfect play on air?
uh, well, the calling it on air, the only thing that I think would lead you to say that might be the best is it's there in perpetuity. It's on tape. It's on the internet. It's recalled. But in the moment of what you do for a living, there's nothing better than that. Nothing. That should have been a big game. I mean, Super Bowl, NFC Championship game, that type of thing. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Louder crowd. The old Candlestick Park or any stadium today?
Oh, I think if you ask people that played in that era, they'd tell you what a nasty place Candlestick was to play. Besides being a real home field advantage from the field side, that place was loud.
Yeah.
And people had a hard time dealing with. Well, they had a hard time dealing with us. If on top of that, they had to deal with them.
Deal with the crowd, the fans. Yeah, yeah,
Now,
right, right.
yeah, I always thought there were places out there that the loudest crowd I ever played in front of was in the Superdome in New Orleans.
Wow. Yeah.
They put on a goal line stand on us. It was in 80, might have been 85 or no, 83. And it's right when they first got the Dome Patrol together, with Pat Swilling and Ricky Jackson and that group, Johnson and oh man, they were Mills. They were unbelievable. And they stopped us on first, and it was crazy and loud. They stopped us on second, it was crazy. They stopped us on third. We're in the huddle. I'm looking down. Got my hands on my knees. I look down at my arms, and I can see the hair on my arms is like sticking up, and you can almost see it vibrating. Noise. And Joe's over there in the corner calling the play, like, and you're going,
Oh man.
yeah. But that was a lot.
Wow. Okay.
That,
Most
my first game I ever played in was in the Superdome. I mean, in the Kingdom in Seattle, when it was a baseball field.
Right, right.
Used for football. And it was a concrete box, basically. And it had no acoustics on the roof. Nothing. Zero.
Whoa.
So, yeah, being a music guy, I'm sure you could appreciate
Yeah, 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 yeah.
the
Wow.
reverb and the bounce back and everything.
Right. The delay and yeah.
One of the loudest things I'd ever heard, because when that crowd started going crazy, you'd hear it like every time somebody clapped, it seemed like you heard them 10 times.
Jeez.
Like bouncing back and forth.
Wow.
The next year they had soundproofing up on the
They were able to afford it the next year.
Yeah. Well,
But
I think they knew very well what it would do. They just wanted a little advantage, and they weren't going to change it until somebody told them they had to.
that's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. So who brought it up to them?
At that time, it would have been Pete Rozelle.
Okay. Okay. Most underrated part of being an offensive lineman for people that don't know. What's the
Yeah.
most underrated part?
Um, hmm. There's not I'll
That
be
you have
honest
to
with
be big and chiseled?
there ain't a there ain't a shitload of upside to it. As far I mean, you're not a celebrity necessarily. You're not, terribly
No,
recognized.
you are.
Well, I'm just saying you're not terribly recognizable as an offensive lineman. Now, every occasionally you get guys that are during their careers,
Right.
but
Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right.
generally,
You're right.
generally speaking, you basically it's like the old catcher thing. The tools of ignorance, all the equipment. You're just toiling in anonymity at most times. That's why early in my career in college, I played center and guard. My
Okay.
senior year, I played both at the same time. We had a first team offensive line, second team offensive line. We switched off every couple series. In my first few years, I was a center at San Francisco. And when Bill got there, Bill and Bob McKittrick, our old line coach, they told me we're going to make you a guard because you can run around so well. I said, cool. And I came to appreciate, when people came to see you play, your relatives and friends, if you were a guard and I was pulling and going to the left or double guard sweep to the right or running screen passes, they knew what you were doing. They could see you playing. If you were inside and weren't moving around a lot, they had to almost take your word for
Right.
it.
Right. Right. Right.
You just don't see it. And that's something dealing on the downside you got to deal with as an O lineman, but it's more of the group. It's the most important position group I think on the football team.
Absolutely. You have to protect the prize, the trophy.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's what they call quarterbacks now. I
Oh,
think even then.
oh yeah. No, it wasn't any different. It
Yeah,
was
because you had a lot of listen, I think what about 90 something percent of there's been how long has the league's been televised? About what, 60,
uh
70? No, no, no.
league's been televised since the late 50s,
Okay, so let's say
60 years
wow,
basically.
60 something years. Okay. I would assume I'm just making an assumption, right? But we can go back. Every year, I believe that I would say there's a 90% chance that the quarterback will win MVP.
Oh yeah. It's just a matter. It's kind of like the Heisman. Everyone
Right,
talks about, Genty or this back or that back or this
right. So for
guy.
the most part, I mean,
Pretty
yeah, the
much going,
quarterbacks are the trophy, right? I think the OL is probably secondary for sure because you have to protect the trophy.
yeah.
And then I think the third will be see the running back position. What's going on with that, Randy? Right? We don't use our RBs no more. Why? I mean, is it a is it
Well,
a throwing league now?
no, no. I mean, you will
Is it a passing league?
think about the really good teams, and there's only one way to qualify for a really good status. You have to win a Super Bowl, in my mind. You
True.
got to be a Super Bowl type team, a complete team. They've all got the ability to run the ball. You don't think Saquon Barkley didn't make a bit of a difference for the Eagles?
Oh yes, he did.
I mean,
Well,
he
I think it's
completed
because they changed it up.
he
They had no
completed
choice.
he completed them offensively. And they'd won before, obviously, and been competitive, but he was that big of a difference.
Yes, he
Uh,
was.
every Super Bowl type team, you look at those guys and say, okay, well, they've got. So if you drop to having to win a Super Bowl and the real good offenses in the league, Baltimore's like that. They've always had a guy that's a beast at running back, always. San
True.
Francisco's had Christian McCaffrey, but he's the best example as to why people are so squirrely on running backs. What makes him so good? Well, he's strong, he's fast, he plays 100% balls to the walls every snap.
He is fast.
That's the good news. The bad news is in the NFL these days, you're only going to do that so long. So that's why his dad, especially when he was in Denver, Mike Shanahan, started what everybody does now was, you start in the beginning of the year, you got three solid running backs because you're going to need them. Even if you got one that's a beast. And there's only one true beast left playing these days, and that's Travis Henry. He doesn't need any help. He's just fine, thank you. And he's a full grown man, and
Right.
he's an official old guy now. But ask defenses how much fun he is to tackle once he's got a 3 or 4 yard running start.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I think the running back position, it's not discounted as much as it's an unusual position. I don't think there's that many guys out there.
Yeah, but back in the 90s, Randy, you had, see, and don't take this the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
I thought you was gonna say something after that.
Don't worry about it. It happens in a lot of good.
So so I mean, I'm 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Started watching football many years ago. When I was like 6, 7. I became a Cowboys fan in 90. I want to say 93, 94. We won the chip in 95.
Right.
I think we won it in 94 as well, if I'm not mistaken. But in 94, see, we had Barry, Emmett, Rodney Hampton. Like, I mean, the league had great running backs where it seems like it's obsolete now for some reason, right? But back then we used them, right?
It's well, that's because it wasn't that long ago. The prevalence of 7-on-7 leagues, in especially in high school, just exploded.
True.
They don't really need. I mean, I played with a guy that's probably, I think, arguably the best or one of the top 2 or 3 best running backs all the way around. He could block, he could catch, he could run, he could do everything. Roger Craig, who was unbelievable as to what he could do. Not enough people really appreciated that, but he fit our offense perfectly. And, you look at how many guys there are out there right now that can play like that. Not many still, because you go back to, they grow up, everybody in this game grows up playing catch. It's we're going to go to a tournament. We're going to get on the bus. It's going to be, no. You fat guys over there, you don't have to come. This is just for the fast guys. So they travel around throwing the ball, spinning it everywhere. That's how they grow up. That's the offenses that are prevalent these days.
Yeah.
Now, smart coaches look at that, recognize that, plan for that. But they also say, eventually we got to punch you in the mouth.
Right.
So it ain't about our big guys backing up all the time. Sometimes they got to go forward. Sometimes.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Randy. At 3rd and 1, are you running or passing? Well, I think what is the smartest choice to make there? Because I see a lot of coaches pass anyway.
In today's game,
yes.
You seen the size of those defensive tackles?
Huge, massive.
I think on obvious running situations, the only thing obvious about it is it's easier to throw.
Wow. Yeah.
You can take the approach where, hey, look, I've got, whether it's take your pick. You're a Baltimore fan and you've got Jonathan Ogden. It's 3rd and 1. Hey, you might want to run behind him. Or if you're, Trent, you got Trent Williams over at left tackle also. Hey, you might say, okay, we can run at him. But these days, especially with planning, especially with timing, and the way that it's a defensive nightmare to defend in those situations, I think you're better off passing because officials, you can't mug guys like you used to be able to. You just don't get away with it.
A lot of NBA players say the same thing. A lot of them, right? Back then, you had hand checking.
Yeah,
you was able to push, people to the ground, and now you barely touch them, and you either getting a technical foul or getting
Yeah.
ejected.
Or somebody's flopping,
So exactly
you know.
for the most part,
I,
yeah. And that's
I
LeBron
grew
James,
up,
by the
I
way.
grew up a Laker fan. I haven't rooted for the Lakers since the flop master got his ass in LA, and I can't wait till he leaves. I can go.
We're going viral, Randy.
I can't go. I can't wait to go back to the fan because that bit bothers me to no end.
We're we're going viral. Oh God. Hey, I feel the same way, Randy. I feel the same exact way. I mean, yes, he's great. See, I ask a lot of people this question: Michael Jordan or LeBron James? And I can't say I'm not a LeBron hater. I love LeBron. He is great. But I think the only thing he has above MJ is longevity, and that's that. Simple as that, right? But now go back to Michael. 6 finals, right?
Yeah.
6 finals, 6 MVPs. You name it. Defensive player of the year. How many times? Man, what 6, 7, 8, maybe?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is the greatest of all
League
time.
MVP, Finals MVP,
Scoring
all
champ
scoring,
every season,
all
right?
defense,
Literally.
all defense.
Come on, like let's go. Like how many All-Star games? And his career was short,
Yeah. Yeah. No,
right? So
I'm with you on that. I mean, these guys, the NBA is a different game. I can't take it away. I think they're some of the most amazing athletes on the planet. Without exception, they've always been that way. Um, just watching the game, though, there's less physical repercussions to being an idiot.
hmm,
If in the old days, if you were an idiot, you're gonna get. They were gonna deal with you. It wasn't. I mean, I'm not saying
you're
anything
gonna get idiotic results.
dirty or illegal, but they were gonna deal with you. Nowadays, it's like some guys you just can't touch. There's
Yeah,
some guys,
he's one of them.
and yeah, you can see. Well, we're going down a different rabbit hole with, if you got 4 steps before they're going to call something that used to be known as traveling, you can get around guys offensively pretty easy. It's like they give you the first 2 steps, and then you can put the ball on the ground. It's like
That's it.
on
That's
TV
it.
going, wait a minute, what is this?
Yeah, yeah. I
And
go.
there's
Yeah,
no, and back on the foot to the football side, that's something I'm proud of the NFL. There's not a whole lot of that in the game. And they do, it is an offensive game. They do take care of the quarterbacks. They do handicap the defenses, and they'll never admit that, but they do.
yeah, they do.
But
Absolutely.
I think physically and mentally, that's part of the challenge and advantage of being a really good defense and defensive player in the league these days in the NFL. Is that and you don't care. You're
Yep.
still you're still going to bring it. You're going to bring both the intensity and the pain.
That's right. If you had to play today,
Mm-hmm.
which team would you want to suit up for?
I'd probably settle for my old team. I'd still settle for the Niners.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
you super loyal, Randy.
I'd have to. I'd say maybe either the Niners or the Chiefs.
Okay.
But then I would need about 2 years because I'd have to put on about 30, 40 pounds. I mean, heaviest I ever got my last year, I was 289, 290
Wow.
as a center in
And how tall are you?
6'3".
Okay. That's not bad. Not
No,
bad.
no, but even then, that wasn't big.
Yeah.
Never been big. I mean, I played in college. I was between 250 and 260. Earlier in my NFL career, I was 260 to maybe on a good day 270. Went until later in my career that more
The 289.
more lifting weights and what do we call it in a nice way? As my body matured, gaining weight was a lot easier later. But yeah, no, I would say probably Niners, maybe Kansas City.
Okay.
That'd be fun. And part of that's I got kind of spoiled at quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would, if I know I'm no better. I'm not one of those guys that's going to tell you I would like to play with somebody because I don't know what that's like. I want to play. I'm not going to be honest with you. I'd like to play with somebody like Joe. If I had my option, because I still think he's the best that's ever done it for a lot of reasons.
I was
But
gonna ask, that was my
that,
next question. Is
that's
he the greatest quarterback ever?
that's the kind of guy I want to play with. Yeah, I mean,
He
obviously,
is, hands down.
these days people throw the, I know Brady's got 7 rings and blah 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 and all that. Um, Joe was in 4 Super Bowls, won them all, never threw an interception. Uh, there's no contest. I ask these people this question all the time. It's there's a minute and 20 seconds left. You got one timeout, and you're on your own 20, and you're down by 4 points. Who do you want a quarterback? You want to talk about short lists? And people talk about Brady, and I think you could also have to talk about a guy like Elway. He's in that list. But Joe thrived. That's the stuff he lived for. I was in the huddle in that drive against Dallas, which is probably his
Catch.
early on. Yeah, the catch, his early on most famous situation. He was so calm, it was stupid. And even in my last game, which was Super Bowl 23, that famous story about, hey, there's John Candy. Um, that's just Joe in a big spot where other guys talk about getting hyped and focused and intense. He went exactly the other way. It's
That
almost like
is crazy.
if you put a pulse monitor on him, he might be at 100 in the first quarter. You give him that situation with a minute and 20 seconds to go, one time.
60.
Yeah, he's probably closer to 50. I mean,
Wow.
he just
Holy cow.
talk about feng shui and breathing. And,
Yeah.
he has that ability to do that.
Do
And
you do you remember exactly what play he called?
the touchdown?
Yeah,
No, I don't
for
remember.
the catch. Yeah.
No, I don't remember that. I
But
remember.
did you say anything to him, or
Oh no,
besides him being just super complacent and
he
chilled
was
and laid
he was a
back?
little busy at the time.
Calling
Uh,
out the yeah,
I
yeah.
do remember, and I talk about this all the time. Um, Great teams and great games are won by doing ordinary things at extraordinary times. And there was a linebacker for the LA Rams, Mike Jones, who made a tackle in the Super Bowl here in Atlanta against Tennessee. And like the hair of his chin just makes it and brings them down. It would have been a touchdown and they'd have lost. But he made that tackle and they win the game. They win the Super Bowl. There's a cornerback for Cincinnati in that game, Super Bowl 23, that gets an interception and it is like right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's in his hands and he drops it.
Oh,
And 2 or 3 plays later, John Taylor catches that pass and we win the game. You can go back in your mind. I don't care what the sport is. It's doing ordinary things at extraordinary times is what differentiates. And that goes back to me is repetition and training and practice techniques and how you do things. And
right.
that's what makes people talk about dynasties and teams that are around for a decade plus and how do they do that. That to me is how you do that.
How
It's
you
it's the
how'd
culture.
you build the dynasty is that way?
It's the culture. It's how you practice. It's how you meet. It's the standard that's set. And once that standard's set, you got to keep meeting it and keep challenging it and keep upping it.
What happened after the catch? You guys went back to the locker room, super hyped.
Yeah. Um, I always referred to, and I know some of the guys I played with didn't appreciate the term, but I always refer to that team as the happy dummies. We didn't know what
Really?
we didn't know what we didn't know. So we were happy. We were going to the Super Bowl, which still seemed 2 years before that we were 2-14.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
The year before that, we were 6-10. So we weren't real familiar with this situation. Um, so in that locker room, it was euphoric. It was crazy. It was, I don't know, one of the kind of an out of body experience because, you literally were going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I mean, the year before, I had gone to the Super Bowl and, or 2 years before, I'd gone to the Super Bowl and watched um, Pittsburgh beat the Rams. And the year before, my old college coach, Dick Vermeil, had been with the Eagles playing the Raiders in the Super Bowl in New Orleans. And now suddenly the next year we're in the Super Bowl. It's like, wow. It
Yeah.
was
Just an
it was
amazing feeling.
hard to believe. It was why we were there and we all knew it and realized it. But
Arguably, it's probably the biggest besides the World Cup, I think is up there. It's the
oh
biggest game.
yeah, it is. It is.
It's the biggest game in sports.
The World Cup final is bigger.
Yeah, I mean, because not a lot of people in all these countries play football. For the most part, they play basketball, right? This is how we have like Team France and Team
Yeah. Yeah.
Brazil.
They play
But
the international game is soccer.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. But now I don't know if you noticed, Randy, that Brazil's coming. I think if I'm not sure, if I'm not mistaken, they have like a national football team now,
Oh, I would
which
be.
is great. So they're picking, they're picking it up, and hopefully it stays that way. And
Yeah.
yeah, we
Germany.
can have like this World Cup.
You go to Europe, Germany, other places, especially in the areas that have had U.S. bases in the past. That's why the World League did so successfully in some of those spots
Right.
because you had the people that were familiar with the game that would still come to see it, and it's worked. The NFL's smart. I mean, the NFL, they know how to sell, they know how to market,
Oh
and
yeah.
and they're going to play games everywhere internationally as soon as they get over the speed and travel thing. I think the old days of the Concorde that was interrupted by the technology got a little squirrely.
Yeah.
Uh, if they ever solve that puzzle where you can be in London in 2.5 hours, or you can leave, Chicago and be in Tokyo in 5 hours or something,
Oh
then
yeah.
then you can deal. Then you
Oh
can say,
yeah.
"Hey, we can go there, we can play a game, and not just a preseason game. We can play a Saturday game during the regular season, give them the next week off, and there's no disadvantage to doing it.
I
And
see. I see. I see you talk a lot about politics, right?
Mhm.
Right. What what do you think about the world today, Randy? And this is
uh,
like my own personal question to you because I see that you do talk about it. You're outspoken, which is great. I
yeah.
love your takes, amazing takes. I love your opinion is wow. So what do you how do you feel about it? Like what do you have to say?
To be honest, it's probably some of the more disappointing things
I agree.
in life have to do something to do with politics. If we could figure out a way, and they figured it out when they founded this country, they had politics without politicians. They did politics with businessmen and statesmen that went in and out of their system. You
Right.
know, they were there for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and they go back to what they did. It's not supposed to be a career. That's what's ruined politics. And it's so freaking crooked. It's ridiculous. But I don't know.
So
It's
it should be okay. uh, just to so you're saying it should be something long term rather than short term, right?
well, no,
The off in office.
I think term limits.
There shouldn't be no term.
Oh, there should be term limits. Big.
Okay.
I think congressmen personally, 6 years should be max.
Okay.
2 terms for senators, and
How about 4 terms for president?
I think two for president's plenty.
Really? Okay. Wow,
Yeah.
I thought you was gonna say, something different. Okay.
No, no, no.
Okay.
I think there's, given the proper situations and the proper input and whatnot, I think the only problem with term limits is the people that vote on it are the people that it most affects. You really think Congress and the Senate are going to vote for term limits to limit their own access to our money? I don't think so.
True. Where,
Um,
where where do you live now, Randy? Do you live in California?
no, I live in outside of Atlanta in Georgia.
Georgia? Okay, okay. I thought you was in California because my next question was, how do you feel about the deportation? Right.
Yeah. Well,
That's
one of
very
the
unfortunate.
one of the reasons we left um, California was things were getting kind of crazy out there then, and that was in the early '90s. The amount of illegals that were on the books, and the benefits and everything else, and the state taxes. Though people out there wish they paid the state taxes that I paid back when we left in the '90s. Um, you miss, if you're not living there, you miss the weather, you miss your friends, you miss your family, and that's about it. Um, it's a mess. It's sad to go back and see some of the condition of some of the cities when they're not dressing up for a foreign leader or something.
Right, right.
But yeah, no, it's they've got their own set of problems that I really feel. A guy that lived. I grew up in Southern California. I grew up in LA. So to watch somebody to have the audacity to be surprised that there are wildfires, it's like, what? I mean, I grew up, that was every year was fire season. Every year you had fires like that. And you knew that if you didn't clear things out, it was going to burn. So you cleared stuff out and they budgeted for it and they did it and took care of it. And, then it gets to the point where you're not filling reservoirs and you're not
Right.
all sorts of different things. It's really sad. I feel so bad for those poor people in the Palisades. Um, that,
Yeah.
that's just unbelievable. But
It's yeah, it's sad.
yeah,
No, it is. It is. It is
yeah.
absolutely.
And it's I don't know. Your first instinct in a lot of ways is, you know what? I'll take care of my own. I'll watch, take care of me, and I'll let all that sort of go its own way. But you can't do that, or I can't do that. You know, I know. There's a certain analogy about opinions, and everybody's got one. But yeah, I rarely have hesitated to share it if I think
Yeah, yeah. I
something
mean, we
something.
also have to be very mindful and careful of what we say, right? Nowadays. Because for some reason, I mean, our First Amendment is what freedom of speech, right to record in public and so forth, right? So how is it that if we have something to say about the government or whoever, we will have somebody knocking at our door 20 minutes later?
Oh,
You know,
you must be talking about England. America hasn't gotten there yet. England is full blown.
so yeah.
We noted you on Facebook making a comment. Please hold your
Yeah.
out. We're going to take you away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's horrible. I mean, I
Yeah,
thought we had the freedom of speech,
yeah.
right? I mean, as long as we're not saying, yo, we're gonna go unalive this person, then that's okay, right? If you
Mhm.
say you're going to unalive the president, then obviously you're gonna get in trouble, right? But if you're stating your opinion, right, and it's not what's the word that I'm looking for? Offending anyone, right? Then you're
Yeah.
entitled to it, right?
Well,
But it seems
if you open your mouth though really seriously in most situations, you're going to piss somebody off,
absolutely,
especially today.
but it shouldn't be like that.
But like you say, if the amount of people that have actually looked at the Constitution, the amount of people that have actually read the Bill of Rights, the amount of the fact that, to go to number two there, the fact that people don't have a concept as to how much wiggle room there is in the term shall not be infringed. It's to see them kind of like brush that aside and go, well, no, that's not what they meant. Shall not be infringed sounds pretty specific to me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
very important. It's the same with the first. It's the same with the go down the list of all of them.
Yep. And
And
and some officers don't care, let alone know what the your rights are, right?
yeah,
Because it states it clearly as what you said, right? And I said, I mean, the first, second, third, fourth, it says it clearly, right? You can't do this, you can't do that. I'm recorded in public. I can. As long as I'm not in private property, I can do whatever I feel like it. Listen, if I want to record inside of a bank, I can't do so if
mm-hmm.
I'm on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Right. So there's nothing wrong with that. But for some reason, officers don't either know or they just don't care.
Yeah.
Right. And then it goes from, can I see some ID? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Did I commit a crime? Oh, you're suspicious. It's what? Is being suspicious a crime, a felony or misdemeanor? You tell me.
Yeah.
It's none, right? Okay, so let me go. Why do you still need my ID? Why do you still need to identify me? No, absolutely not. Look, I know my rights. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just weird.
Yeah.
People don't care, and that's that, right? And it starts with our police department, right? I've I've seen these videos where these folks go inside, either post offices and listen, you have every right to record inside of a post office.
Mm-hmm.
It's public property funded by who? Us. You can record inside of a cop car funded by who? Us. So what that makes it public, not private,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and some of these officers, they get so upset, right? Because they feel like, oh, he knows what he's talking about. But either way, I'm wearing I'm the one with the badge and a gun. Let me
Yeah.
do what I feel like it, right? And it shouldn't be like that. And this is why it's sad, man. It's sad,
I'll
Randy.
tell you what, man, that's a job I want no part of. I really do. And I'm so grateful that they do what they do.
Right.
And we were talking about politicians and they're, a bunch of thieves and blah, 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 blah. Um, can you even imagine what our world would be like if we didn't have police? If we had, social workers answering domestic violence calls or showing up at bank robberies? I mean, that job is that is a tough ass job.
Yeah, it's tough.
That eats people up.
Yeah.
So,
And you see some things too that might
yeah.
mess you up in the long run, right? Some PTSD
So
and
I cut personally. I cut police a little bit of leeway in that regard.
I'm talking about the dirty cops, Randy.
Well, there are some there's
Yeah,
dirty XYZs in every profession.
absolutely.
And I tell you what, there's also a lot of smart ass people that think that can quote the same parts of the Constitution and the same laws in the middle of a traffic stop, get in their face and don't cooperate at all. That's not a good idea. I
Yeah.
don't care
Especially nowadays. Yep.
I don't care who you are. That's not a good idea.
You're right.
And people wonder why it's such a big deal that, well, and this is getting on a little bit of a different tack, but they want to say remove the masks from the ICE guys. If you want to do that job, how would you feel about your family being back at home if everyone knew who you were and what you did? That's tough. I mean, it really is. I'm glad cops these days wear those body cameras.
Yeah. Yep.
Both ways, it alleviates a lot of problems.
Absolutely.
Because
Yes.
solves
Amen to that.
it solves a he said she said in a heartbeat. But
Amen to that. Yep. You're absolutely right, Randy. Yes.
But
And you can ask for, I think, a FOIA request, I think it's called. So you can ask for body cam footage, which is
oh yeah,
great now. I don't
they
think you could have before.
nowadays with the advent of social media, I guess it is through a FOIA or whatever the request is. You see that all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't go a day without seeing body cam
Footage. Yeah. Yeah.
of a cop trying to talk to somebody, and they're just showing their ass something fierce, and you're watching this. It's the new entertainment.
Absolutely.
It
How
really
do you,
is.
you know what? Talking
You
about
watch,
entertainment, right?
you watch some of those
Yeah,
people
absolutely.
being on the side of the guy that's wearing that camera, listening to this stuff that these people are saying, going, okay, all right. I mean, I get about 2 minutes in, and my first thing I'm going, just taser his ass. And to their credit, they don't.
Yeah. now, now that we're talking about entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Imagine Randy Cross, right? With Instagram back in 1979.
Oof. Oof.
Would have let out, yeah, you would
I
have
don't know
aired
if
a lot of dirty laundry, correct?
I came into the league in '76. I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm not sure if X and Instagram
Was
and
even thought of.
the chats and everything else, if they were there, I don't think I'd have gotten to '79. And anybody that played anything in my era back in the '70s, '80s, early,
No.
if you don't admit that, you're a liar.
Le-
You didn't have. I mean, you'd have. I used to worry about cameras or our phones had cameras on them, so they take pictures. And pictures are a whole different kind of problem. But like we're talking about with with videos, that's a end of report, end of contest, end of argument. You say I did this? Yeah. What do you got? I got a video. Oh,
Here you go.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So no,
Yeah, no.
I think life would have been a lot more boring back then.
So so by 78, you were out the league.
Yeah, 78, 79. Yeah. I mean, no, it was a crazy time. Let's put it that
What's
way.
what's the craziest thing you've ever seen as a player? Something that you can't say, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I have to think about that.
Or a crazy fan story. Someone that was a huge fan and
Oh, well, we'd be back to Joe, and I had a guy I played with, played the other guard on my other side, um, and there was this crazy woman that would come to our hotel that we stayed at, and would write notes and letters on our door and his door, and put like lipstick and stuff around the handle. I mean, it was weird. It was really weird.
whoa.
And
Okay.
our security people, took care of it. But that was
Did you ever meet her?
there was an old movie back in the day called with Clint Eastwood called Play Misty for Me, which was about a stalker. And it was weird. I mean, it almost had to have that kind of strange music in the background every time you.
And what did Joe say? Like, well, what did Joe say? Like, was he was cool? He was cool even then?
He was cool. He was cool with it, and he just dealing with. He had his own bodyguard by then. That was like an '81 or '82. So he had his own bodyguard back then. So nobody was getting to him anyway.
No, he was so famous. And even now, I mean, even kids in their 20s know who Joe is, right? If you want to go to the league, you know who Joe Montana is. Like so and again to me, yes, you have your Brady's, right? Which I've seen play, right, personally, my own two eyes, without me watching,
Yeah,
any YouTube film. Uh yes, you have Mahomes, but I think no matter what, I mean, Joe is the greatest quarterback ever. I mean, hands down. And you had well, no, you know what? You did have, you guys had the best wide receiver in Rice.
Oh, that's not. I don't think that's even a contest.
Yeah, I
You,
mean, no.
you look.
See.
You look.
I wanted to
You
put
look
Michael
at.
Irvin in there, but no,
No.
no.
You look at Jerry's records. You look at what he did and how long he did it, how many yards, how many touchdowns, how many receptions, everything else. There's guys that get into the league and they make a big deal out of after 5 or 6 yards. They've got 5 or 6 years. They've got the most yards, the most receptions, and most touchdowns. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, do it for 15 to 17, something like that, and let me know. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I made a point back when the NFL, I think it was the 100th anniversary of the NFL, might have been. Always who's the best ever of everything. And I always thought that Jerry and or Jim Brown
Wow.
were
Okay.
the best just playing. I mean, everybody wants to throw LT in there, and I can see that, and other people. But I always thought just pure football players that Jim Brown and Jerry Rice were the best players at any position that's ever played the game.
And you're not being biased because you mentioned Jim Brown, so you're not being biased.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's crazy, and their influence on the game was ungodly. And
Oh yeah, yeah,
there's still people chasing Jerry.
absolutely. And they'll never get to Jerry.
No,
I don't, not in my lifetime. I don't think so.
yeah,
I don't. I mean, because players are getting better, as what you just mentioned earlier. They are getting stronger, faster. But
but
um,
I also tell people all the time, go back and look at the stats. Go back
right.
and look at how the game was played, how the defense could actually deal with receivers, and how physical they could be with receivers. Not like today, where
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you can't touch the guys running down the field.
It was much harder.
It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
full contact karate back then, and it didn't matter. I mean, you had to do that if you had any chance. I mean, the old Giant teams had great corners, Collins, etc.
Yep.
And they would man up with Jerry. They'd get tough and they'd get physical with him, and sometimes they'd win, and a lot of times they lose. That's just. But he was to me, of all the guys I played with, and a few of them were. I mean, I put guys like Fred Dean and Charles Haley and Ronnie Lott would be in that same category.
Wow, Rodney Lott, man, that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, Lott. People forget.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it
Ron,
just reminded me.
Ronnie Lott, back when people don't remember, he played cornerback in college. He played,
Wow.
he played corner when he got to San Francisco, and he was really good. Then they made him a safety, and he was better. Yeah, he
I'm
was.
actually having Charles Haley on a pod next week.
Please say hi. He was
Yeah.
on my channel last week too. He's a good man, really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's
We were in the
yeah.
College Football Hall of Fame class.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna definitely let him know. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited because like I said, I'm a huge Cowboys fan, and that was like he was like one of my childhood heroes, right? Him, number 22, of course. I mean, 22 was like a lot of people say Barry Sanders, but no, I think Smith was the one at
Yeah,
the time. I think so. I mean, Barry was great. Don't get me wrong, but he had a short career. Don't know what he went through. I forgot. I think it was an injury or he just wanted to leave. He was just
he
tired of
just
the NFL.
just checked out. He was
Right. So
after 10 years. He just said,
that's it. Yeah, short career. I mean, and he wasn't getting touched like that. He was amazing.
"Well,
But I still think number 22.
why they couldn't hit him."
Right, right, right.
I mean, my broadcasting career, I was lucky enough to be on the lower rung of the CBS roster in my first year. And that was 89 when he got drafted by Detroit. And in 89 and 90, I did a ton of Detroit games, and it was
Absolute beast.
I would pay to watch him play. That's to me is one of the biggest compliments I can give a player because I don't pay for shit. Uh, uh, he was at times it wasn't fair. And
Wait, how did you pay for that Rolex?
what's that? Oh, well, that's but with Barry, if you never saw him, and Emmett was a combination. Emmett had the elusiveness, he had the speed, he was strong, he had a lot of the stuff. But Barry could, and what defenses didn't like about Barry is he could embarrass all 11 guys on the same play.
Absolutely. I've seen it happen.
And
They have clips, yeah.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that was, I remember doing those games, watching that, saying, I've never seen this before. This is, as far as he's the most unique running back I've ever seen.
Yeah, I call him the Michael Jordan of running backs.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Because
Yeah,
to me, he pretty much changed the culture of being a running back. Because
the
back
two,
then, people was just so straightforward, just run through the, you know. No, he became, like you said, elusive and doing all these jukes, and it's just unbelievable. But my opinion,
he ruined a whole generation of running backs too. By the way, who
yes, he did.
who spent too much time trying to make moves and got their ass knocked off right in the middle of one of their moves. He didn't have that problem because he wasn't there anymore. But
But where do you leave Rodney Hampton? He was nice too.
he was very nice, very strong, very physical.
What about Thomas?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thurman was great. Thurman
Yeah,
was
he's shout out to Thomas too. He's coming on the podcast in 2 weeks.
yeah,
Shout out to you, buddy. Thank
yeah.
you so much for that.
Thurman was something. I was actually behind their bench, about 8 rows in Atlanta here when they were playing. Well, they were playing the Cowboys in the Super Bowl when he
Yeah, beat that butt.
when he had a hard time finding his helmet.
Yeah, we
It was
spanked him.
like I'm sitting there and I'm laughing, and my wife goes, "What are you laughing about?" I said,
We
"Look,
spanked him pretty bad too.
yeah, there's a guy can't find his helmet," and he stood up. I went, "Oh shit, it's Thurman." Yeah,
Besides your team, right? Besides your team, when you, Joe, I still think that the one of the best teams assembled was the 95 Cowboys.
yeah,
You had Charles Haley, Emmett, Jay Novacek, who's coming on to the pod too as well.
yeah,
Charles Haley, Leon Lett. I mean, come on. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah.
But you guys had to catch. So I have to give you that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it wasn't the only time we beat them. Uh, if in all honesty, I was a big football fan my whole life. Played baseball, but when I started playing football, I just fell in love with it.
Yeah, yeah.
My favorite team all time, and I still think possibly the greatest early dynasty, like you want to talk about a 6 year, 5, 6 year period, team wise. Not one that lasted 10 or 15 or all that, was the Pittsburgh Steelers early in my career. I mean, they won it back to back years, took a year off, won it again back to back years. And you look at those teams and who was on those teams.
Oh, yeah.
I tell, and I like to remind people because they act like when I was playing, the analogies were always hearkening back to the old Cleveland Browns. People forget how many championships the Browns won under Paul Brown back in the days. So the old timers would remind you of the Cleveland Browns. So I guess I'm just a current old timer reminding people about the Pittsburgh Steelers, they were hell.
Oh, yeah.
They were hell with Franco and Swan and Stallworth and Bradshaw. And that defense, that defense that's what would kill you.
Impeccable, yeah.
And that's what I think not enough people realize and recognize until maybe after the fact with our teams. was, and because Joe was so good, and because we had Roger, and because we had Jerry, and because we had, go down the list, our defense, like in
Yeah.
'84, we were 18-1. We were the first team to ever win 18 games. And we played Miami in the Super Bowl. And all they were talking about, Marino was going to be the MVP. Second year, he was going to go to 10 Super Bowls, and they were going to be the dynasty forever. And they were really, really good, but they didn't have a defense in the AFC quite like ours.
Yeah, not like you guys.
And our defense
No. Not
just
even not even close. I'm sorry.
grabbed them by the neck and just kind of sat there and went, "Hey, go ahead, run."
and then see, Dan, I think he's in everyone's top five,
Oh yeah,
hands down, right? But it sucked that he never won a
he
chip.
and
So
Elway, he and Elway are still the best throwers of the ball I've ever seen. Just pretty, and
oh, they had
they could
cannons,
throw it long, they could throw it medium, intermediate. I mean, they were unbelievable,
cannons. Yep.
and they took advantage of it, and they could do it, and especially late in the game. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. No. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That leads to this, right?
mm-hmm.
You had a long career in sports broadcasting, right? After football. Was that something you always saw coming or no?
I guess kind of. I did radio. I had my own radio and TV show when I was playing, and
Really?
towards the end of my career,
Okay.
I started.
Not
Well,
during the golden years.
oh yeah. And I started my radio career in '82, and my TV stuff started in '83. So my last 5, 6, 7 years.
You also had a nice commercial there. I forgot who.
Miller Lite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a drinker now?
But I had what's that?
Do you drink?
A little bit. A little bit.
Okay.
When I drink beer, I drink Miller Lite.
All right. There you go. You still want those checks.
That's right. But I had my own. I started an ad agency my last couple of years playing, and I had my own production company out of that. So I do my own TV and radio. And at the end of the season, starting in about '85, I'd put together stuff I did, whether local commercials or other stuff.
Right.
Put it on a tape, and I sent it to the networks, and basically say, I'm not quitting, but when I do quit, I'd love that if you would maybe keep me in mind. So in '89 when I did retire, I sort of went straight across and started doing that, and it worked out really well. I mean, still
That's
doing.
your love for the game.
I did NFL for 20 years, and I've been doing college football since 2010. Yeah, 2010.
Okay.
So another 15, 16 years of that. So still doing it, still love it. It's the game.
Yeah, that's the love for the game, Randy.
The game and talking about the game, I think it's worth it. It makes it all.
And that's look, if I ever played a sport professionally, I would want my career to be like yours, right? Because played for so many years. And to not just walk away from it, but to be a broadcaster, right, for the pros and college, and still talking to, your fans and the people, and doing podcasts here and there like mine, right? It says a lot about you, and that's great. This is something that I always tell my guests, right? And hence why before we started recording, I told you that I have relationships with each and every individual that I speak to. Because to me, Randy, and this is with all sincereness, right? To me, I and don't take it the wrong way, because once I say the follow up, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, before you kick my butt. So I don't want you to kick my butt. But because I know you still, 6'3", you must weigh about, I don't know, two like 180, 200.
Oh hell no, 250.
There you go. You see, so you definitely gonna kick my butt. But I do want to say this, right? I can care less about this pod, right? You know what I care about? You want to
Hmm.
know what I care about, Randy?
What's that?
A friendship.
Yeah.
That's what I care about, right? To one day, send you a text or call you, hey Randy, how you doing? Whether it's tomorrow, just an example, tomorrow or weeks from now, or even months from now, or excuse me, I can be in Georgia one day and say, hey Randy, how you doing, buddy? Are you around? You want to go shoot? Let's go to the golf course or something like that, right? That's what I care about. I
Yeah.
care about your well-being.
Oh, I'll
Your
go. I'll
mental,
go.
your
I'll go
mental
golf. I'll
state.
go golfing with you now.
And I know you have game.
I
I
used.
know you have game.
I was hell until I started replacing joints.
Oh yeah, I saw something. I think you had knee replacement, if I'm not mistaken.
Um,
You
I've
had something done in your knee.
recently had three quad tendon reattachments to my patella.
Holy cow!
Yeah, that didn't go well the first couple, but I also replaced a hip, and before that, I replaced both shoulders. And the only reason I did the stuff with the quad so many times is if I don't have a functional quad tendon, they can't replace your knee, which I'm eligible for that on both sides. So
Right, right.
so yeah,
And I'm
so
assuming it's all from playing.
that's right. That's I guess. I mean, hell, I'm 71 years old.
You're still
So
young.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Believe it or not, you're still young,
Yeah.
Randy. I don't want
Yeah.
to hear it. You're still young.
My knees say otherwise.
You still have you still have X amount of years to,
Oh yeah,
live on this earth and
got a good few decades.
absolutely, absolutely, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, Randy, right? That's what I care about, right?
Good.
And I don't mean it, not to sound offensive or anything like that, but that's what I meant, right? I don't. Yes, it's great that I'm with a legend because to me you are a legend, hands down, right? I mean, you play with two other legends, and people want to get to know your story and you know, I guess read your mind and get certain opinions right from you, and yeah, that's cool. But to me, I have a bigger purpose, right? And as I said a few minutes ago, that is my purpose
Good.
to build a friendship, and hey, we go from there, you know.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Um, so I have one last question, right? One last question, Randy.
All right.
If there's one advice that you can give the world, right, what would it be?
Never be afraid of two things: hard work and
Mm,
other people's opinions. I think if you master both those, you can do anything at the top. To me, I think that's what holds innumerable amounts of people back is they care too much about what people think about them,
yeah,
and they're not willing to do the work involved. There's nothing you see a team win a championship, you see a guy win a golf tournament, or you see a team win a game on a Sunday afternoon on a last second shot. That was done in training camp. That was done in the off season, the lifting and the drills and everything else. I don't know those two things. I think, and people's opinions mean zero.
right.
I mean, if there's a reason there are 2,500 different podcasts, is people don't all think like I do.
Absolutely.
But that's kind of where I've always come from. It pisses people off at times, but that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. And that's wow. Um yeah, see for me, I go with the second one. Don't worry about what other people have to say about you, right? Uh that's one of them. And the other is just love, man. Be kind. Love. Love your love your enemy, right?
Yeah.
That's just, as you can see, Randy, I'm a huge believer in Christ.
Yeah, I was just
Uh,
gonna say having God in your life doesn't hurt either.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a huge
As
believer.
no fun, then it kind of all comes down there from that. Yeah.
I have a story, but I know if I was to say this, whatever I really want to say, my wife would probably get upset because she'll say, "Oh, every guest you have, babe, you have to mention that." So, but we'll talk. Yeah, I'll send you. I guess do we follow each other? I know I follow you on Instagram. I don't know if we
Yeah.
follow each other, but I'll send you a message, and if you don't mind, I'll send you my number as well,
Yeah, please.
Randy. But I, my background is like long, right? My childhood, I've been through so much, and just 2 years ago, right? I came to Christ. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. Um, and I've had it all, right? I've always say I was the I was I was the ghetto pro football player or pro basketball player, right? Because I had it all. I've like literally, Randy, I've had it all without me playing any pro sports, meaning that I had a lot of money, right? I had a lot of women. Thank God I'm married now. I've been married for X amount of years, but excuse me. So um 2 years ago, you know, uh I was diagnosed and I'm in the shower and I'm like, hey, I can't deal with this, right? I lost a lot of weight. I lost 40 pounds in a week.
In a week?
In a week. Yes, sir, in a week. Um, so I said, you know what? Is either two things, right? One of them is, it could be HIV, right? Because I mean, but then again, this was 2 years ago, and I've never, and I'm not saying it just to say, but I've never cheated on my wife. So I said it can't be that,
Yeah.
right? So it has to be option B, option two, which is cancer, right? That's the only thing. Because, imagine Randy waking up today, I mean, tomorrow, and you said you weighed about
50.
250. Tomorrow morning, you're 230. You're going to bug out. You're going to say, holy crap, what is going on? Right. So that's exactly how it went for me. And one day I'm in the shower, Randy, right? And the water's hitting me and I feel super nauseous. I've always been I'm 5'7", so I've always been one 160, 70, not fat, but like solid, I guess, if that's what you
Yeah.
want to call it.
Yeah.
But
Back in the day, you used to call that stocky.
yeah, 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 yeah. Stocky, correct. Yeah. No, absolutely. So, but as I was losing weight, Randy, I'm like, wow, I can see my ribs now. How is it that today, Monday, by Wednesday, I'm like, that's not normal, right? So, I end up going to this doctor and he's like, hey, anyways, I'm sorry. Fast forward, I'm in the shower and water's hitting me. And I said, hey, God, look, I don't know. I mean, I've always believed in him, right? But I don't know who you are. So you need to reveal yourself like now, right? I need to experience you now, like today. And sure enough, Randy, I mean, that night, I'll never forget. And I get so emotional.
Good for you, man.
I get so emotional
Oh,
because
it's because it's real.
I know what he did for me. I go back to the doctor a week later, and the doctor's like, I don't know what you did, but you have to show me because you don't have anything, you know. And I know a lot of people that have passed away from Crohn's, right? Because you can get you can either get sepsis, right? You can get a severe infection, and that's it, right? A lot of people walk around with bags, right? With poop bags,
Yep.
and yeah, the doctor said you don't have anything. Maybe I misdiagnosed you. Mind you, I was on steroids. They're trying to gain all this weight back.
Mm-hmm.
And since that day, Randy, granted, I'm not perfect. I don't want to be perfect.
There's only been one of those, so don't worry about it.
Amen. So I need him, right? And yeah, so I'm sorry. Sorry that I got all emotional, Randy, but
No problem.
it's real, right? He's real, he's alive. Whether
Yep.
people want to believe it or not, he's alive. Right. And I was a gangbanger, Randy, and I'll leave it at that and we'll talk off camera if you don't mind, right?
Sure.
And again, it goes back to what I said earlier. I can care less about this pod. I care about your friendship. Right. You can always count on me. I know there's a huge age difference, but you know what? I can learn from you and you can learn from me as much as I can learn from you.
Yeah, you can learn from anybody.
Absolutely. Even a baby, even a toddler. You're absolutely right. But Randy, I thank you so much. I appreciate you, buddy. You are a legend in my eyes. I don't care what no one else says. And now I'm gonna go back to your highlights because I'm ecstatic. This right here just besides me crying, I have a huge smile on my face. Believe it or not, you made me laugh so much. I love it. And I thank you so much. And God bless you, Randy. And as I said, I'll send you a text, a DM with my number on it. And you guys, man, I told you guys I wasn't gonna get emotional, but I did, right? And Mr. Randy Cross here took it out of me, right? I thank him so much. You guys, I thank you for following, the podcast. And again, I thank you, Randy. God bless you, and we're gonna talk
Thank you.
soon.
Been my pleasure, man. Thank you.